Okay. Piper has an ACL tear, and that's why she's been sitting with her leg flanked out to the side. So, if you see your dog sitting abnormally, probably something wrong. We just took her to the vet. Poor girl has an ACL tear, but she has regular pet insurance, and they're going to take care of her. And she seems to be all right. She's just limping along.
I know, it's so
But
sad.
anyway, the reason I was screaming, I had an emergency, not Piper's leg. I found something I've been looking for since before we moved. I guess the movers packed it. But and I'm unpacking the gym equipment. Anyway, my prized Secret Service Kettlebell Snatch Award from 2009.
Whoa.
Yeah, this was a pretty big deal. I don't know if you know. It was like all the rage. Everyone was doing kettlebells, and everyone was talking about the Secret Service Kettlebell Snatch Test. I had the record, couldn't tell anyone. And back then, couldn't post anything if you were working or really even associate with any of this. So I used to see those videos on TV and been like, that's me. I have that record. So here we are. Now I can do it. The reason it's such a big deal to me, probably not anyone else. But right when I got the Secret Service, even in the academy down at FLETC, people were talking about wanting to go the special operations route, CAT, ERT, counter sniper, and everyone talked about this kettlebell test that pretty much went back and forth each class. An ERT guy would break the record, CAT guy would break the record. To me, it was a huge deal. You know how I get about records and training for something. Once I get locked into something, I have to do it. So I trained for this thing nonstop. So that's why it's such a big deal to me. I put countless hours into getting this. And at the time, the record was with our counter assault team. I was going through with the emergency response team. So it was like a huge deal to me to bring it back. And we were going through training, you know, especially with the instructor cadres going back and forth. Everyone wanted their unit to have it. The record was 251. I ended up doing 259 and bringing it back to ERT. So that was a huge deal for me. So here we are, 14 years later. I'm going to start training for it again. And at the 15-year mark, I'm going to see if I can break my old record. So right when I got in Secret Service, you go through two basic academies, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center down in Georgia. That was like 3 months, 3.5 months. Then back up here to Secret Service Training Facility. That was another 3.5 months up in Maryland. So it was like 7 months in all. Finish that, you feel like you're in the best shape of your life, which I was, even coming off college baseball, the 2 World Series. I was in the best shape of my life. I was told it still wouldn't be good enough for ERT, which was our special operations SWAT team for the White House, which then immediately I knew I had to do that next. So started preparing to train for that. And obviously there's just a list of guys talk to you right when you go around. I remember walking around as an officer my first day, met the ERT guys, and they basically said this is what you need to do if you want to make it through ERT selection. And kettlebells is a huge part of it. It was all the rage at that point. It was all over YouTube, which is ironic that I'm doing this 14 years later now. But I even used to see the Secret Service Kettlebell Snatch Test, which is 10 minutes of snatches non-stop. I mean, you can put it down to adjust your grip or whatever, but it's 10 consecutive minutes of snatches, as many as you can do with a 24 kg kettlebell, which is 53 pounds almost. So I started preparing for that right away. It's actually at the very end. So I probably did this test probably the last week of May in Hell Week. So May 2009. But I'm going to start today and see where I'm at. Still have the kettlebells, which I bought and used back then to do this. So, and by the way, these snatches these have you have 5 judges when you're doing this. This isn't like, you know, because I told somebody, they're like, oh, I could do that. Everyone is counted, no different than a pull up over the bar. This is, you have a guy on both sides of you judging to make sure the kettlebell breaks the pain on the way back. Same thing on the way up, make sure it goes overhead. Guy in front of you, guy behind you, you're all on a line. Everyone that's not a perfect full snatch top to bottom, they don't count. So it's a big difference, especially when you're getting up into the 200s of doing perfect reps and when you get tired. So the record was 251. I trained, got up to it. And then also, you do this at the very end of ERT selection, so you're beyond dead. You're just crushed. You're physically training all day, tactically training all day, shooting all day out on the range. You do this at the very end, and then at the very end of Hell Week. So this is like pretty much just to see what you can pull up if you have anything left in the tank. And at the time, which changed right after I left, which I still have a problem with to this day, you had to do it barehanded. So when we did them barehanded, all the calluses will rip right off your hands. There's blood everywhere. I remember coming up, everyone about after 200, blood is shooting at the instructor to the point where he's like moving out of the way while he's counting, because it's all the calluses rip right off your hands just from doing so many reps, and blood, as you come up, it almost shoots out like a water pistol. It's kind of funny. At the time, it doesn't hurt that big because you have all the adrenaline, but then the days after, and you just have the hole in your hand. It's freaking ridiculous. But after that, they let you wear gloves now. Well, the whole point is to do it and go through the pain. It makes it harder. So I did 259. A couple of years later, they started letting people wear gloves, and then someone crushed my record. But I had it for a while. Anyway, so the kettlebells I trained with right here. So just like in baseball, swinging a heavy bat or throwing a heavy ball, throwing a light ball, I got one heavier and one lower. So this one is the 20 kg, which is like 44 pounds. And then I got the heavier one, which is the 28 kg, which is like 62 pounds. The test is with the 24 kg, which is 53 pounds. So basically what I did is every other day I'd work out as much as I could. I changed the workouts, but pretty much as my hands could dig, not even my body. We had all these techniques where we sandpaper down, nail file down the calluses, because if you let them, if it's not calloused, it'll tear. If it's calloused too much, it'll tear. So what you needed was calluses, and then shave them down so it's a thin callus, not a big callus, because that's what rips off. But if there's no callus, then it just rips right through you. So kind of got it down to a science, but I obviously don't have it now. I just have calluses. So I'm going to try today. Just want to see where I'm at. Probably going to rip off. But I'm going to start with the light one, work my way up. I remember I got to pull out the old Dell computer that I used to keep all my stats on. But I was doing, when I broke the record and was training with the heavy and light, I was doing around 200, 300 in 10 minutes with the 20, and around 300 with the 20, and around 200 with the 28. I don't think I've done a serious kettlebell workout since that day. So we'll see where I'm at today. 9 months, gonna break that record, or at least try. Harder and worse than I expected. Probably my first serious kettlebell workout since training for the record and doing it in 2009. So that was the lighter kettlebell. That one's only 44 pounds, so that one's 9 pounds lighter. Did 159, ironically 100 less than the record. So got my work cut out for me, but starting point is 10-minute snatch test. Did 159 with the 20 kg, 44 pound kettlebell. Probably every other day I'll switch and do the heavier one, the light one every now and then. Working the one that we do the test with, the 53. And in April, at the 15-year mark of the record, I'm gonna break it. Right, buddy? And you'll still be here. Yes.
So we're at Red Rock Canyon open space. This is not a hard hike. We're not taking much elevation. It's pretty flat, but it should be really pretty. And we miss the ocean and the water so much back home. So this one has a little reservoir down here. And we're gonna come through the blue loop, which is all that beginner stuff, all the way up here. It gets a little advanced at a point and then cut all the way back down. So depending how we feel, we could do the loop a couple times, but we're gonna start with one lap and see how it goes. Marshall is okay with this hike because there's no incline, aka no steps.
No steps.
Here we go. Do you want to run it?
Nope. Oh, an off-leash dog trail. Nothing I freaking hate more. Bunch of people who don't know how to control their dogs thinking they know how to control their dogs. It should be fun. Let's go this way.
No, we're not going that way. We are leaving the Mesa Trail and now headed on Greenlee. First sight of water, or water as Marshall would say, because he's carrying his Delco roots with him everywhere he goes.
Starting to feel landlocked, so this is really helping that nice clean pond full out. It's nice.
The views are great in every direction. This is where we just came from, and this is where we're headed. We're at the top of that circle that I showed you at the beginning. This is the Red Rock Canyon open space, and there have been a couple times where we're not quite sure which way to go because we're linking a couple trails together, but we always use the All Trails app, and whenever we're not sure, it tells us exactly where we are and which way to go. Right now we're 27 minutes in. It's been 88.88 miles. Slight elevation, 206 feet. Pretty cool. And I think Marshall just found the way down. Do not fall. You okay?
Oh. Please.
Yeah.
I said no more steps.
This
looks like the Manitou incline.
It's a mini Manitou incline.
I think you tricked me.
I think the first one was on the other side of the wall.
It's a dam.
You're so weird.
It's not a wall in the water. It's a damn dam. All right, Red Rock Canyon loop completed. This one's right by our house. We'll definitely be hitting this one up again. Right near Garden of the Gods, which you can see in the background. But this was awesome. Definitely check this one out.
Yeah, high on the list. Loved it. And Marshall survived.
There's bugs, but it's okay.
So we are settling into our home. It's finally starting to feel like a home as we got all our pictures unpacked and we're starting to hang stuff on the wall, which is a lot of work, but a lot of fun. Weather's been crazy. I swear it hailed like every day for the first 2 weeks we were out here, and Marshall's truck is testament to that. He does have some hail damage on the front of his truck. So a ton of hail and a ton of rain. The little patch of grass we have in the backyard has grown way too fast, and I had to mow this week, and man, do I miss my riding tractor that I had in Virginia. I don't miss how long it took to mow in Virginia. It would take Marshall and I, we'd like split it up, but 5 hours total. So out here, we barely have any grass. I got a push mower, but the struggle is real. The grass was a little too long, which made it really hard to push. But anytime a little piece of mulch found its way into the grass, it would get caught in the blades. You have to stop, pull it out. It's a whole process. So maybe I just get another riding tractor and do it in one pass. Who knows? But then from all the rain and the hail, now we have crazy hot weather, high 90s every day. So I thought I would make some cold frozen treats for the pups. I have Hurricane snoozing right over here with me, and poor Piper, I took to the vet today to figure out what this undiagnosed limp is that she's had in her hind leg, and I had to leave her there to be sedated and have x-rays because they think it's an ACL tear. And I've never had to leave her before. It's always Hurricane, the one that we're having to leave at the vet. She's kind of a scaredy, nervous dog, and I've been working on going to the vet with her a lot, and she's gotten so much better to the point where it's almost been fun for her. So I'm a little nervous that how I had to leave her today will take a step backwards, but I'm sure she'll be fine. And in the meantime, I just trying to keep my mind busy because I've never really been without her. And yeah, so I'm gonna make some treats for her before I can go back and pick her up. So we have a bunch of ingredients. For the frozen treats, I have these silicone trays with little paw prints and doggy bones. And then we'll do peanut butter ice cream. And the main ingredients for all of these is going to be bananas, frozen blueberries, frozen strawberries, a very clean peanut butter. We have non-fat Greek yogurt, goat's milk, which is better on their stomach than our traditional dairy milk, and some coconut water. So let's get to work. frozen treats are ready. We have peanut butter, yogurt with blueberry, and strawberry. And then we have our peanut butter ice cream with some extra frozen bananas. The older he gets, he tends to eat laying down now, but I think he likes it. And of course some for Miss Piper. Turns out she did indeed tear her ACL. In dogs it's actually called CCL, so we scheduled a surgery for her. But she's doing good. She'll hang in there.
All right, last weigh-in before the final weigh-in. I'm 1 week out. It's day 33. I need to get to 201, so I should be at about 208. I'm definitely a little over, but I think it kept it close. So, let's see where we're at. 210. All right. Not great, but the home stretch is near, so I'm going to have to do 9 pounds in the next 7 days. It's doable. It's just getting brutal. Workouts are up to 3 days, and they're getting longer to stay on pace, and I'm shrunk my window down to close to 4 hours. Definitely not starving myself by any means. Some people only eat 1 huge meal a day when they do their fast. I'm getting in 2.5 to 3, depending on how you count the shake. So I just up the morning cardio to an hour and a half. I might even up that again. I do my first shake right after, then I hit weights, then do 2 more very small meals, pretty much between 7 to 11 has become my new window. And I'm not starving. Get used to being hungry at night. When I hit that point around 7 or 8 o'clock, we do like an hour and a half walk with the dogs, come home, shower, go to bed. Pretty much eases the hunger pain. So, final stretch, got 9 more pounds in 7 days, and I will see you in a week for the grand total of 40 pounds in 40 days.